A pilot program aiming to bring HIV/AIDS under control among college students has been introduced in central China's Henan province. CCTV's Wang Yijia is live for us in Beijing with those details. Good morning to you there in Beijing.
Hi, Elaine. Well, every year, college freshmen in China take a mandatory medical exam. But this year, one more test is being added in Henan province, where the HIV/AIDS infection rate is among the highest in the country. All universities and vocational schools in Henan will conduct HIV/AIDS tests for new students. The test aims to help students who test positive understand the disease and treat it at an early stage. However, some argue this violates regulations that HIV/AIDS tests should be voluntary. They worry that the test results might impact admission decisions from these universities. But officials say medical records will remain confidential, and universities cannot use the test result to discriminate against students. At the end of September last year, China had more than 430,000 people living with HIV/AIDS. The number of people aged between 15 to 24 is growing rapidly. The proportion of young people who became infected almost doubled between 2008 and 2012. And in 2012, nearly 1,400 cases were found among young people, a 30% increase from the previous year. There are more than 1,800 HIV/AIDS monitoring stations across China, but discrimination remains a challenge. People living with HIV/AIDS have reported facing discrimination when receiving health care, in education, and employment settings. Back to you, Elaine.
And another big story in China right now. There's a criminal case that's getting a lot of nationwide attention. A woman was beaten to death by 6 people. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, Elaine, witnesses said the victim, Wu Shuoyan, was surrounded by 6 people who were asking for her phone number. They then started beating her with a bat and hitting her head on the floor. The 6 suspects are members of a heretic sect called Quan Neng Shen. They said they beat the woman because she was, quote, an evil spirit. Wu has a 6-year-old son, and the whole family is devastated.
He asked me why his mother hasn't come back. He said he missed her. We have no idea how to answer him. How can the family get through the days?
Most of China will be hit by torrential rain in the next 3 days, according to the National Meteorological Center. A blue alert was issued on Monday. 5 provinces and regions expect precipitation up to 120 millimeters in some areas. China is considering relaxing the green card policy to attract more foreign talent. Authorities are discussing a revision to the current permanent residency requirement for foreigners, which will be more flexible and with a lower application threshold. China launched its green card system in 2004. Urumqi, the capital of China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, has welcomed its largest batch of tourists after the deadly terrorist attack in May. Nearly 100 tourists from 6 countries and regions arrived on Monday. They were mainly from Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, and Taiwan. And that's a look at what's going on across China. Elaine, back to you.
All right, Yijia, thank you so much for that report from Beijing.